Morning, Gautam and Bella. Morning, Steve. Let's give it another minute, then we'll get started with precepts. All right, let's do precepts on page 9. Middle of the way through the page. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tritiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tisaranamagamanang sampunang. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kamesu miccachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Sura Meriya Majjapamadatana Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami. Tisaranena sadding panchasilang dhammang samadhiyatva sadhukang surakatang katva appamadena sampadeta bang. Silena sukating yanti, silena bhoga sampada, silena nibbuting yanti, tasma silang visodaye. All right. Welcome, Audrey and John. Page 23. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddha vijja charana sampano sugato loka vidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati satta deva manusanang buddho bhagavati. Svakato bhagavata dhammo sandittiko kaliko ehipassiko panayako pacchatang veditabbo vinyuhiti. Supatipanno bhagavato savakasango ujupatipanno bhagavato savakasango nyayapatipanno bhagavato savakasango Samichi patipanno bhagavato savaka sango yadidang chattari purissa yugani atta purissa puggala esa bhagavato savaka sango ahuneyo pahuneyo dakkineyo anjali karaniyo anuttarang punya katang lokasati. Buddha susuddho karuna mahannavo yochanta suddha baranyana lochano lokassa papu pakile sagatako vandami bundang aham madarena tang. Namo te purisa janya namo te purisuttama sadeva kasming lokasming natti te patipuggalo. Dhammo patipo viyatassu sattuno yo maggapaka matabeda pinnako lokuttaro yo chadharatta dipano vandami buddhang aham adarena tang. Yo chadhammam abhinyaya dhammam anyaya pandito rahato va nivato cha anejo vupasammati ye sang buddha samadanya. Paravade sunaniyare te sambuddhya subuddha samadanya charanti vasame samo ye kechio sudha loke vijjanti vividha bahu dhammo sada samangnati etang pivita bhikkavo Dhammo sadang pivitvana hajara maranasiyong bhavayitva chapasitva nibbuta upadikkaye Sango sukatta bhyatiketti sannito yoditta santo sukatana bodhako lolapahino ariyo sumedaso vandami sangang aham adarena tang Sukho buddhanam uppado sukha sadhamma desana sukha sangassa sammaggi samagganang tapo sukho Bahungve saranang yanti pabbatani vanani cha arammarukka chatyani manusa bayatajjata Netang ko saranang kemang, netang saranang uttamang, netang saranang agamma sabba dukkha pamucchati. Yo cha buddhan cha dhamman cha sanghang cha saranang gato, chattari ariya saccani sammapanyaya passati. Dukkam dukkha samuppadang dukkhassa cha atikkamang, aryanchitangikam maggam dukkupasamagamminang. Etang ko saranang kemang, etang saranang uttamang, etang saranang agamma sabba dukkha pamucchati. Imaya dhamma nudhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi. Imaya dhamma nudhamma patipattiya dhammang pujemi. Imaya dhamma nudhamma patipattiya sanghang pujemi. Welcome to those who've joined. We're on page 29 of the chanting book, which you can find in the description. Mano pubangama dhamma manusatta manomaya manasa che paduttena basati va karoti va tato nang dukkam manveti chakkang va vahato padam. Mano pubangama dhamma manusatta manomaya manasa che pasanena basati va karoti va tato nang sukham manveti chaya va anapayani. Anicca vata sankara upada vayadhamino upajitva nirujjanti te sangvu pasumosako sabba papassa akaranang kusalassu upasampada sachitta pariyodhapanang etang buddhana sasanang kanti paramang tapotittika nibbanang paramang vadanti buddha nahi pabbajito parubhagati samanohoti parang viheta yanto anuppavado anuppagato patti mokke cha sangvaro mattanyuta jabatasming pantancha sayanasanang arichitte cha ayogo etang buddhana sasanang. Imena punya kammena upajjaya gunuttara achari upakara cha mata pita piya mamang suryo chandi maharaja gunavanta nirapicha brahma mara cha inda cha lokapala cha devata yamo mitta manusa cha majhata verika picha sabbe satta sukhi hontu punyani pakatani me Sukhang chatividhang dentu kipang papetu vomatang imena punya kamena imena udasena cha kipahang sulabhe cheva tanupadana chedanang ye santane hina dhamma yava nibbana to mamang nasantu sabbada yeva yatta jato bhave bhave ujuchitto satipanyo sale ko viryavamino Mara labantu no kasang katun chaviriye sume Buddha di pavaro nato dhammo nato varuttamo Nato pacekka sambuddho sango nato taro mamang Teso tamanubhavena maro kasang labantuma Imena punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya dukkha patta chane dukkha baya patta chane baya sokha patta chane sokha hontu sabbe pipaniyo pavagupadaya avici hatato etantere sattakayu papanna Rupi rupi cha asanya sanya no dukkha pamuchantu pusantu nibbuting. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. All right, page 193. Rupa vicharo loke pirupang satarupang etesa tanha upajamana upajjati etta nivisamana nivisati saddha vicharo loke pirupang satarupang etesa tanha upajamana upajjati etta nivisamana nivisati gandha vicharo loke pirupang satarupang etesa tanha upajamana upajjati etta nivisamana nivisati rasa vicharo loke pirupang satarupang ete satanha upajamana upajjati etta nivisamana nivisati pottabba vicharo loke pirupang satarupang ete satanha upajamana upajjati etta nivisamana nivisati dhamma vicharo loke pirupang satarupang ete satanha upajamana upajjati etta nivisamana nivisati idhang vucchati bhikkave dukkha samudayo ariya satchang nirodha satcha nideso katamang cha bhikkave dukkha nirodo ariya satchang yo tassa yeva tanhaya esesa viraga nirodo chaggo patinessaggo muttiyanaliyo sako panesa bhikkave tanha katta pahiyamana pahiyati katta nirujyamana nirujyati yang loke pirupang satarupang ete satanha upajamana pahiyamana pahiyati etta nirujyamana nirujyati kincha loke pirupang satarupang. All right, English. Examination or investigation of forms has a pleasant and agreeable nature in the world. It is here that this craving arises when it arises. It is here that it settles when it settles down. Examination of sounds has a pleasant and agreeable nature in the world. It is here that this craving arises when it arises. It is here that it settles when it settles down. Examination of odors has a pleasant and agreeable nature in the world. It is here that this craving arises when it arises. It is here that it settles when it settles down. Examination of tastes has a pleasant and agreeable nature in the world. It is here that this craving arises when it arises. It is here that it settles when it settles down. Examination of tactile objects has a pleasant and agreeable nature in the world. It is here that this craving arises when it arises. It is here that it settles when it settles down. Examination of mental phenomena has a pleasant and agreeable nature in the world. It is here that this craving arises when it arises. It is here that it settles when it settles down. This, bhikkhus, is called the noble truth of the origin of suffering. And after, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 Bodhi monasteries experiences, we have completed the second noble truth. Now we are on the third noble truth. The exposition truth of cessation. And what, bhikkhus, is the noble truth of cessation of suffering? It is the remainderless fading away and ceasing, the giving up, relinquishing, letting go, and rejecting of that same craving. When this craving is abandoned, bhikkhus? When this craving is abandoned, bhikkhus, where is it abandoned? When it ceases, where does it cease? So we have a very similar framework, but it's changed a little. Because before, it's craving arises and when it settles down. Now it's, when it ceases, where does it cease? Whatever in the world has a pleasant and agreeable nature, it is here that this craving is abandoned when it is abandoned. It is here that it ceases when it ceases. And what in the world has a pleasant and agreeable nature? I think we know the answer to that already. We've gone over it and we'll continue to go over it. But I wanted to make sure that you noticed that very subtle change. Subtle but important change. All right. Let's do our thought of the day. Going through Adiyo Atangiko Maggo, page 63, second paragraph. Vitakka vicharanang vupasama ajatang sampasadang chetasso eko di bhavang avitakkang avicharang samadhijang piti sukkang duttiya jhanang upasampadja viharati. With the subsiding of applied thought and sustained thought, one enters and dwells in the second jhana, which has internal confidence and unification of mind, is without applied thought and sustained thought, is filled with the rapture and bliss born of concentration. Morning, friends. So we come to the second jhana, and we see a couple differences. Again, as I said yesterday, we're moving from the gross to the subtle. So, vitaka vichara, applied and sustained thought, are gone. And when we have secluded, this is, what's the word? Yes, okay. So we have rapture and happiness still. But it's not born, the first time it was born of seclusion. But now it's born, why am I blanking out? Concentration, yes. So first you have this rapture and contentment arising because you're secluded from sensual pleasures, from the hindrances. And now the mind has become focused on the object. There's no more thought, applied thought and sustained thought. And so now you have this rapture and contentment has switched from seclusion to, because the mind is just totally content and peace and blissed out to be on the object. There's no need to, it doesn't need to change. It doesn't want to change. It is not distracted by various things that come out in the mind. Like I've had this experience outside of jhanas, where my mind has been just totally content and peaceful. All kinds of stuff comes into the mind, thoughts and distractions and things like a river flowing right past. And I was just not interested in that. I recognized that it was there. But I was just completely peaceful and content to be right on the object, right on my breath. No need to go anywhere else. And that's outside of jhanas, let alone what it would be like inside jhanas. So this is the second jhana. Again, we're moving deeper. We're moving from the gross to the subtle. As we practice, as we go into the different jhanas, then the gross just fades away and we slip into the deeper jhanas, as we'll start to see when we get into the third jhana. It's important to see what ceases as we get deeper into each jhana and what changes. Seclusion changed to concentration, rapture and contentment. Applied and sustained thought are gone. And we're going to see next time on Monday what happens to rapture Piti and Sukha. We're going to see what happens to them, because at some point they're kind of gross as well. All right, friends. With that, I wish you a very spiritually successful and peaceful weekend. Sukhi Hotu, may you be happy, practice well, and be well. I will see you again on Monday morning for another morning monastery experience, and Monday evening for Dhammapalooza. Have a good weekend.